All right, Browns are down 14-0 at the half. Caleb Williams did go down with an injury, so hopefully he's okay to come out in the second half. They honestly might just bench him for the rest of this game, and they'll win regardless because the Browns can't score points to save their life. But you know, I don't know. There's not a lot to say because the Browns they're just that bad. Where the Bears are obviously just they don't care. They don't care about this game. They know that if they played their worst game, they'd still beat the Browns by probably 2 possessions, probably. So, I mean, they're doing a good job of getting Myles Garrett blocked and at least contained. He did have that 1 sack on Caleb Williams and did force the almost pick six by Miles Harden. He should have had that at the end of the half. He dropped it though. It's cold. This is one of the coldest games that the Browns are going to have all year. So I can't be mad at him for it, and we would still be losing regardless if we would have had that pick anyways. But it is what it is. The Browns. Sanders looks okay. I mean, here's my thing. I don't really want to make this about the draft, but that's really the only thing the Browns have to look forward to right now. They're eliminated from the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. They'll be lucky if they win 2 games. But Shedeur Sanders right now, if he loses out, and if the Browns lose out, then they're taking a quarterback. They're going to either take Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza. Because if the right things fall, if they fall the way the Browns want it to go, therefore getting a higher draft pick, and the Browns lose out, they're going to have first pick at the quarterbacks. They're going to get Dante Moore. They're going to get Fernando Mendoza. I would prefer Fernando Mendoza. I know a lot of people have been saying that they really like Dante Moore. I haven't really watched a lot of his stuff to really know. But Fernando Mendoza just won the Heisman, and he had a really, really good season this year at Indiana, and he was proven that he can perform well under pressure against the highest competition college football has to offer, Ohio State. And he didn't have a great game statistically, but if you watch that game, you saw the throws that he was making in gotta-have-it situations. And they weren't the downfield throws against Ohio State for Mendoza. They weren't catches. They were throws. They were throws that were dropped right in the perfect spot for the receiver to go get it. And that's a great quarterback to have. He's tall. He can run. And he's clearly smart about that. He's a little bit of a nerd. I don't know how that will, merge with this Browns, the fan base and the culture that they have in Cleveland. But you never know. No one thought that Shedeur Sanders would be able to merge with the Cleveland fan base and the culture that they have. But he's been able to get some diehard fans that are Cleveland Browns. And there's some people that don't like Shedeur Sanders. There's some people that love Shedeur Sanders and are think that he's the greatest quarterback alive. I love the Browns. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is the greatest quarterback in the world. I don't think he's the worst either. So back to the Browns. He has every chance to prove that he is a quarterback for the future of this Browns team. If he can win 1 to 2 games, then that takes the Browns, most likely 2, but maybe even 1. That will take the Browns out of contention for getting a quarterback in the draft, which will then make Shedeur Sanders the starter next year. But if Shedeur Sanders and the Browns lose out and they get a top 3 pick, let's say, the Browns are going to take a quarterback. Because the chances are the top 3 teams, not all of them are going to need quarterbacks. And they'll probably, if they do lose out and things fall the way the Browns want, and they're probably going to end up with 1 or 2. So that means they're going to have their pick of the litter for these quarterbacks. Now, there are some other things that need to be addressed on this Browns team. Obviously, offensive line, wide receiver, maybe get another tight end because they're probably going to let Njoku walk after this year. He's had he hasn't had a great year. He hasn't even had a good year, honestly. So, it is what it is. The offensive line is going to take a few years to rebuild. I get that. This isn't going to be a draft, a top 5 offensive lineman prospect, and immediately your offensive line's fixed. No. But Tonio's going to be gone. Teller will probably stay for another year. if that. Conklin will probably walk because I don't understand why the Browns would re-sign him. And DeJuan Jones is injury prone. We already have an injury prone tackle. We don't really need another one. So they're going to have to pick between either Conklin or DeJuan Jones. And we're probably going to have to draft an offensive lineman in the draft. Just the question is, when are we going to draft them? So, with the Jags pick not being as high as we thought going into the season, they're going to make the playoffs, and we're going to end up with like something in the 20s for the Jags, depending how far they make in the playoffs. And it is what it is. The Browns are going to have a top 5 pick. They got Mason Graham for that trade, and I feel like the Browns probably won that trade, honestly. The Jags, yes, are making the playoffs this year, but the Browns probably got the better player in Mason Graham. I don't think Travis Hunter is going to be able to play both sides in the NFL, and he couldn't even do it for a year without getting injured. And that's no disrespect to Travis Hunter, it is what it is. This is the NFL, this isn't Colorado. So, it's unfortunate. I really wish Travis Hunter could have done it. I just don't think his body is going to be able to hold up for that long. So, it is what it is. I'm kind of getting off track here. But the Browns, their offense, it looks like they're playing in the cold. And, when you're playing in such harsh conditions like the cold or like the rain or like anything like that, you're going to play lower to your floor. And the Bears just have a higher floor than the Browns do. The Browns probably have one of the lowest floors in the entire league, if not the lowest floor in the entire league. And the Bears are a playoff team right now. So, and that's clearly showing. And, there's just not a lot to talk about here. Caleb Williams is dicing this team up. Now that does have something to do with Denzel Ward not being available in this game. Martin Emerson, of course, got injured at the beginning of the year. Didn't even get to play for week 1. He got injured, I think, in like training camp or in the summer or something like that. But he tore his Achilles, so he's out. So this depth, especially in the secondary, is being very much in question because Caleb Williams has these weapons that he can have, and he's got 2 tight ends that are really good in Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland. He's got receivers in Luther Burton and was it DJ Moore, I think it is. I don't know. I've been kind of half paying attention to this game. But, the Bears are a good team. And if the Browns can find a guy, because Kevin Stefanski should be fired at the end of the year. I think I've already said that, but Kevin Stefanski should be fired at the end of this year. Beba Ventrone should be fired. I don't know how he's even able to get back on the plane with us. But, as a fan, you want to be, fire him right now. Well, then in the future, who's going to take over that position right now when you're not allowed to hire anybody? So, Beba Ventrone will be gone at the end of this year. Kevin Stefanski will probably be gone. Jim Schwartz, I know a lot of people are talking about him being the head coach. He tried that and failed miserably, so I don't know if I want to do that. Now, I don't have a name for the head coach specifically. I know as a joke, people are saying Sharon Moore, but no, please God, no. He should never be allowed to be a head coach anywhere. Might not even be able to be a coach anywhere, in any category, any position, regardless. Because of what happened. I'll talk about that maybe later this week or something. But I might make a video again because, of course, since I made the video about Sharon Moore, my instant reaction of Sharon Moore's firing, go check that out if you have not seen that yet. Not all the information came out. I guess that's kind of on me. But I just wanted to be able to get my initial reactions to the firing. Of course, my thoughts and positive injury, whatever you want to call it, goes out to the people that are affected in this. Sharon's family, the victims, I guess, in what he did after his firing. I hate the University of Michigan, and as an Ohio State fan, you want to kind of see, like, in the back of your mind is, if you're a fan that's always like, oh no, we want Michigan to be the best so we can beat them, there's always that little voice in the back of your mind that's like, it is kind of cool that Michigan sucks. I mean, it is, but you know, you never want to have these personal things happen to other people like this. So Sharon Moore, what he's doing in his personal life is clearly leaking out and affecting other people. And I'll talk about that more in depth maybe later this week. But the Browns and Bears are kicking off right now as we speak. So I'm going to end it here. Browns down 14-0. At least we got the draft next year.